Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining once again to a new publication of results of Latin NCAP. In this opportunity, this is the third round of test of phase 13 of Latin NCAP, and we are going to open our new publication with the videos that you're familiar with. So we're starting with the models that we have tested in this opportunity. It's a Fiat Strada. It's a pickup, also called Ram 700. The vehicle has two versions, one single cab and a double cab. We have assessed both versions, and the double cab has 4 airbags standard and ESC, and the single cab has 2 airbags and ESC. The result is for the double cab a 1-star protection and 1-star results. We're watching the screen now, the different dummy colors in different body regions, and the single cab has also 1-star in protection of the occupants, pedestrians, and driving assistants. We're now watching the videos. A normal speed frontal crash test, now a slow motion frontal crash test. The vehicle showed unstable structure in the frontal impacts, marginal to good protection was offered to the adults. The child occupants were both installed rearward facing using the ISOFIX anchorages of the vehicle with ISOFIX child seats as well. Dynamic protection in the frontal test for the child occupants was very good, was almost total, we would say, or reaching the maximum score. The vehicle was assessed also in side impact. This is the double cab. Remember, the double cab has side airbags, which is actually body and head airbags, so it's protecting the body and the chest and the head. The protection there with the effect in the deployment of the airbag is affecting negatively the results for the side impact of the car. We also noticed the structure of the vehicle inside impact that showed some relevant penetration, and we are now watching the single cab on the side impact. The single cab doesn't have side airbags, and the overall protection was from adequate to good in the car despite the lack of side airbags. Double cab, as we explained, they have a thorax head airbag. That means that it's supposed to protect as well the head of the occupant and the chest on a pole impact scenario. So we also tested the double cab in a pole impact scenario. We're watching now the real speed of the normal speed, and now we're watching it in slow motion. Here we noticed that the head and the chest, both of them showed injuries above the acceptable maximum levels. That means that both head and chest were red. That means high risk of life-threatening injuries in this scenario. So basically, that means that the airbag was there and we expected it to protect, but it did nothing to protect these critical body regions as mentioned. The whiplash for the car was tested also in both versions, the single cab and the double cab. Double cab seat was very good, actually offered good protection to the neck in the rear impact. And we are now watching the single cab test, the single cab seat. The single cab seat offered poor protection in the rear impact. We were expecting to have same seats, same models. We were expecting to have same seats, but clearly the seats were not the same. In terms of pedestrian protection, the protection for the head was marginal to good in most of the regions. The upper leg offered poor protection all over the car in the front, which is something that we were very much concerned about. When it comes to the ESC test, both vehicles, both versions, the double cab and the single cab, are watching now the ESC test with the robot from the inside. Both of them showed good performance. Not just that, but both vehicles were tested also in the Moose test and also in the ADAC dynamic test as well. And both consumer test and Moose test both performed over 70 kilometers an hour, which is also good for these vehicles. As a summary, the vehicle that we tested is the Fiat Strada, also called Ram 700. And the vehicle, it has two versions, double cab and single cab. Just as a reminder, in case of pickups, we basically are rating the model. So we take the version, the double and the single cab, and the worst performing of both is going to be the one basically granting or confirming or offering the star rating for the model itself. In this case, both of them were rated with 1 star. And also the relevant difference between both cars is that the single cab has only 2 airbags and the double cab has 4 airbags with 2 side airbags, which are head and thorax. And it surprised Latin NCAP very much that these airbags and the side impacts are not protecting as they are supposed to when it comes to the pole impact scenario on the side head protection and the side body protection as well. It also surprised Latin NCAP that the size of the airbags on the side thorax head airbags, the size it's quite small combined with the deployment of the airbag, which shows some defects and problems along the way that explain the poor protection of the side impacts on despite having the side airbags. Surprising because consumers are buying in some cases these cars with a thorax head protection in the car, and you expect as a consumer that this is going to protect you somehow. And clearly we have shown that this is not the case. Something else that surprised Latin NCAP is that the car doesn't have a disabling capability. It's not possible to disable the passenger airbag when you're installing a rearward facing child seat in the front seat. Availability of the child seats was not in all the markets where the car is being sold, and also the car doesn't have an iSize. Let's say it's not iSize label; it has ISOFIX connectors. It was also a surprise for Latin NCAP, not very nice one, that the vehicle doesn't have certain active safety technologies that are expected in these vehicles. For example, at least as optionals like autonomous emergency braking systems, blind spot detection, especially the speed limitation system that is not available in the car, at least not meeting the requirements. And also the vehicle is not offering the lane support system, not even as optionals. So all these things is something that for a vehicle at this stage of things and how the market is being developed in Brazil and in Latin America, we were surprised not to see these technologies at least as optional in this car. And this is something we would like Stellantis Fiat to reconsider in the future. So having said that, we are wrapping up this third release of results for the phase 13 of Latin NCAP. We thank you very much for your support. And before we say goodbye, we would like to acknowledge and thank very much to Bloomberg Philanthropies, to FI Foundation, to Global NCAP, to Toro Zero Foundation, to the IDB and ICRT as well for their support since the beginning. So from our side, thank you very much. We have at least another 6 to 7 more results before the end of the year for Latin NCAP, so you will be hearing from us quite soon. We'll be announcing the dates of the next publication in the next coming weeks. Thank you very much, and until next time. Bye-bye.